Things are fine. Things are fine. My father had a birthday this day, so we had a family gathering.
Cool. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. I have to wear my headset. So.
Yeah, I think it's probably better. So now it's recording. I also put headphones, even though I don't have the microphone, but at least I will avoid the echo.
Okay.
So basically, I actually put a list of some questions that I want to ask you. I wanted to talk to you like personally. I was out of my curiosity. Like I told you also, I decided to because maybe it will be interesting to friends of mine, or I can actually put it on YouTube. I don't know if you hear me well.
It's breaking up a little bit, the connection, because of the video. Yeah, it takes up a lot of bandwidth, you know.
Should we? I don't know if we should turn off the video, or I think you are probably more experienced with these calls. What's your suggestion?
Well, the less video, actually, it's the video that takes up all the bandwidth. So I don't know how you want to handle that. We can.
Sure.
We're a long way apart right now, so it has to go a long way.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's better. I don't know if it's.
Not sure
how. Yeah, not sure how problematic it would be. But just let me know if some of my words are skipped. So.
Okay, and same with me.
Okay.
You can see me.
Cool.
I can see in the corner there's an image of me, and it looks okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's try. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just take a look at my list. I'm a little bit nervous, not too much, but a little bit. So
don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
So basically, yeah, I guess I have to also keep in mind for the people who don't know you. So basically, the first I've heard about you is I stumbled somewhere, I don't know where. Maybe my friend told me that he found this technique, which is similar to, it's some way based in self-hypnosis. It's designed to, it has some elements, let's say, you will talk more about it. But it basically is designed to resolve some emotional issues in a really efficient way.
Yes.
Maybe you want to say your introduction to it. If somebody asks you, what do you do?
Well, I tell people, I help people get over things, you know, that are stopping them from enjoying their lives. And sometimes we have situations and circumstances that cause us upset and cause us not to love ourselves as much as we could. And the basis of an enjoyable life is to love and accept yourself and be okay with yourself. And if you're feeling not okay with yourself, then you want to look at those feelings that come up when you think about yourself and or certain situations and circumstances that you've been through in your life, and let them go, move on. That's essentially it. So for example, if someone has anger issues or has been through a difficult relationship, that will cause them to feel a certain way. And we all point back to ourselves inside, you know. So if you're through a difficult marriage or whatever, then you feel that you want to resolve those issues and those feelings that come up so you can meet someone else, or that you can find happiness in your own particular way. And essentially that's it. That's what I do, help people in that way. What do you use the technique yourself?
Nowadays I use it like sporadically. It's been useful, but I had some things that I personally had some resistance towards.
I'm just going to move the
personal.
light here.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Cool.
Okay. Is that okay? Does that look okay? There.
Yeah, it's good. Mm.
Good.
Personally, the thing that I kind of didn't like was that it seemed like it's almost for issues to fix. At least that's the phase that I found myself in. That I looked for things to fix.
Yes.
I got into that habit, which is, I think it's not that rare in, let's so-called spiritual community. The people are become like junkies for searching for things to fix, and then
Yes,
they.
that's the negative side of it. That's right.
Mhm. What's your take on that?
Well, uh, you get what you put your attention on. And if you're always putting your attention on all the ways that there's something wrong with you, then it seems like there's always something wrong with you that you want to fix. A better
Mm.
way of doing it is to focus on the things that you really want and to allow yourself to feel good about whatever that is. And you can literally use the process to clear all the ways that you resist allowing yourself to feel good about yourself and the things that you want in life,
Mm.
essentially.
Cool,
So
cool, cool.
there has been a shift in the way and the way many people approach this particular issue, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
positive.
Yeah. Mhm. I would like
Pardon me.
to, at some point, if you will be okay with that, make like a demonstration for people to actually hear what the process looks like. Uh, maybe we can, maybe we can do it even now. Like, if you can, yeah.
Well, do you have a let's see if I have a copy of the healing program, because that's the basic part of it, and I don't have one
Mhm.
handy.
Mhm.
Hold on here, because I haven't memorized it on purpose.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ah, here we go. I just happen to have a copy of my
Cool. Of
books.
your book.
So let's see, where is the
The book
healing
is called.
program?
We can choose
Uh, the,
this opportunity to actually
well, it
say.
needs a I'm going to put it out again. I'm going to revise it because some of
Mhm. Mhm.
the references to my website have changed.
Mhm.
Let's see. Where is? Oh goodness, I don't know where it is in here.
Take your time. It's okay.
Okay. See, I haven't memorized this. Oh, here
I
we
don't know
go.
if you mind like if I say uh, my understanding of the process like in layman terms, and then you can
Sure.
correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, and then you can take over as the expert. So Zpoint is like Grant said, it's meant to improve your life and solve some difficult emotional issues. And the idea is that we have subconscious mind and conscious mind,
Hmm.
and subconscious mind is operating it's in some like deeper waters, and we are
Yes.
basically using our conscious mind to instruct our subconscious mind. We are reading a set of instructions, making an order for our subconscious mind, and we are saying whenever we say this cue word like a trigger word, this subconscious mind will trigger these instructions, this
Hmm.
process, and
Yep.
it's meant to solve the emotional problems. So that was my my take. You can
Well, that's a
explain.
good way of putting it, actually. But
Mhm.
I tend to look at it that the more conscious we are,
Mhm.
the more aware of and make choices based in what we want in the moment, um, the better off we are. So if you're carrying some unconscious programs that cause you to be unhappy, then you want to release all the ways you are attached to those programs
Mhm.
because you want to make decisions based on what you in the moment. No, let's put it a
Mhm.
different way. You want to base these your life decisions on being conscious, being aware.
Mhm.
So oftentimes we make choices and base our decisions and we're essentially unconscious. We're not aware of what we're doing. And what causes that are old memories, old feelings, they get in the way. They stop you from making these choices, conscious choices. So
Cool.
a conscious person is a happy person, typically, if they've dealt with their particular issues, Allow me to read the cleaning program. It's very simple.
Amazing.
I hereby set a powerful intention within you, my subconscious mind, to allow the best of all possible outcomes by this and every clearing. And each time I notice a feeling that does not feel good, as I think certain thoughts or remember certain people, situations, or events, you will gently and easily eliminate that feeling completely as I repeat my cue word over and over. And you will eliminate everything I feel because of it, everything I feel that connects to it, and everything I feel that has resulted from it, to whatever extent it exists within me. So all you need then do is choose a word, and I typically suggest to people they choose the word yes. Yes, I'm willing to let this go. Yes, 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 yes. And you repeat it like a mantra as you go through a certain process. For example, if you're a very angry person, you carry a lot of anger, perhaps toward a relative or a father or toward yourself, then you would say, I clear all the ways I feel this anger. And then you would repeat your cue word. Yes, 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 yes. I clear all the ways I feel this anger because. And then we leave the ending blank. And the way the subconscious works is that all the becauses, all the reasons why we feel that anger are already there inside us, in our subconscious. So I clear all the ways I feel this anger. Yes, 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 yes. And so on and so forth. And as we clear that anger, what typically happens, a person feels, or issues or circumstances from the past or connections to that anger, why we become angry, will come to conscious awareness, and then we can say, oh, I remember doing such and such, or I remember this happened or that happened, and then we can focus on that particular memory or that response by someone or whatever, Simple. Again, it's quite simple.
In my experience, it's also been like interesting. You have some problematic event or a problematic memory, I don't know, and then you focus on it, and suddenly it shifts. You start remembering other things. Like if you see somebody is a cruel person, suddenly in that same memory, suddenly proves that this person was also gentle, or you see how you have been cruel to them, or it's like expanding your awareness and somehow just like making these painful memories more soft.
Well, we tend to cover things over. If you're carrying something from the past, it may not actually have happened exactly the way you remember it. And when you clear the feelings around something, say the anger or the resentment or the fear, suddenly the memory of that, what happened, it doesn't change, but you're able to look at it from a different perspective and see it in a different way. And it's like the light bulb goes off. So,
now the video is having some problems.
Okay.
Maybe I suggest now we turn off the video.
Okay.
And we can turn on later again. Because audio is crucial. Maybe I just press turn video off.
Yeah, I just turned mine off, so.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Hopefully I see your photograph. Okay.
Yeah, I see yours too. Good.
Okay.
Do you mind repeating like the last part you said since my question?
Essentially,
if it's okay.
Sure. Essentially, Zpoint is like revealing the truth about a situation or circumstance or whatever. And when you take the feelings out of a memory, that it's not that the memory changes, it's how you perceive it changes. So essentially what you're looking for is the truth about a situation, a circumstance, a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And again,
Mm-hmm.
taking the emotion out of it allows you to see and perceive that whatever happened from a different perspective. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I can give you an example. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
trauma. Trauma, I know for myself, when I was a child, I grew up, there was a lot of physical trauma happening and a lot of anger and whatever. So once this was mostly directed toward my father, very difficult childhood. So when I cleared the difficult feelings I had around that, suddenly I was able to look at my early years from a different perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of feeling angry and upset and feeling hard done by, I felt and I could see the love that was underneath all of that.
Uh-huh.
So you have to it's like removing trash from a yard or garbage,
Mm-hmm.
things that cause you not to see things in a way that is positive for you. And
Mm-hmm.
difficult emotions cause that. So removing
Mm-hmm.
the emotions, removing the clutter, as it were, allows you to see the truth.
Mm. Interesting.
That's how I perceive it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Let me just look at my list of questions, see what I would like to, because
Sure.
yeah, mhm. Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, Zpoint has been has been what is the word to how do I express? How long has it been in? When did you invent it? Let's say.
I first had the idea, I think, around 2003. It's been a long
Mm-hmm.
time. I was
Mm-hmm.
working in a college on the computer help desk, and I was very
Mm-hmm.
stressed. And I needed a way to deal with that stress. And sometimes we have ideas; they just pop into our heads. And it seems that this idea for Zpoint popped into my head all at once. I sat down and I just started writing, and I wrote the healing program that I read to you earlier. And it didn't take very long. I was, little corrections here and there, but um, it was a gift. It was I don't know how else to describe it. I
Mm-hmm.
just saw it in an instant. Boom! I just saw it
Mm-hmm.
and put it all together and started working with people. First
Mm-hmm.
myself, of course, but then I started working with people, and it changed my life essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, like, if it's okay, I think it in some ways it should be okay. I don't know. You say, how are you satisfied with your life currently? Like, if
Well,
you don't mind talking about private, of
uh,
course, you don't have to talk about private things, but like your general happiness level, peace level, if you want to mention relationships, wealth, health, and so on.
well, health has been it's been an ongoing issue for me. In 2016, I had an operation. I had an aortic aneurysm, like it's a bubble on my aorta, and I
Mm-hmm.
almost died, very close to
Mm-hmm.
death. I was in Peru actually, and
Uh-huh.
I I had to come back to Canada because to have the operation, and I was in the hospital. Well, not very long, but uh, again, I almost died, and that's been
Mm-hmm.
it's been a gift, and it's been a difficult situation because I couldn't I was uh, recovering for 5 or 6 months. My income went way down, so because I couldn't work with people and I couldn't teach, so it's been a challenge to come back, as it were. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the same person I was, and I've
Mm-hmm.
done a lot of Zpoint over this in the intervening time, and the work that I've done has gone deeper and deeper and deeper, And quite literally, I've become a different person, but one I like a lot better than I did before, truly.
Mm-hmm.
You notice a difference in me?
Yeah, you seem composed, like at peace with life.
More peaceful. I would say more peaceful. I I never get angry anymore, truthfully. I am more focused on the things that I want, and I'm a happier person because of it. So yeah, it's worked to my benefit. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. I also wanted to ask, like, in the time that I've followed Zpoint, you have done workshops on many different topics like anger, anxiety, creating. You have done even. I remember you have done. Did some experiments even like with physical exercise. Let's say some visualizations about
Sorry,
experiments a lot
Ivan,
with it. But I'm curious.
you're breaking up a little bit. Go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
no
Go ahead.
problem. So from what I've seen, you have experimented a lot because, like you said, it was like a gift, and even you were not sure what the limitations are. So from what I've seen, you've tried different things, and my curiosity is, do you have a feeling that Zpoint has like found some really fertile ground? Like, what is it? What would you say it's like really good for?
Well, my focus has changed in this past little while because of my life experiences and whatever, and I'm looking at things in a broader perspective, and looking at that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and that everything, including ourselves, is simply energy. And when you focus on that energy, and the energy is for example, I can use the word not clean or dirty or cluttered, I guess you could say. When you clean up that energy by using the process, for example, I clear all the ways my energy is disturbed or dirty or cluttered or whatever you wish to. It's very adaptable. So you're raising your frequency in all ways, and by cleaning yourself on the inside, and your life starts to straighten out, becomes better, whatever you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else to say on that.
Yeah. Mm. Have you found like some issues that people had that you found like maybe Zpoint doesn't work on? Is there something like that, or if we approach it from the energy level, if you raise frequency, everything will be affected? But I'm just curious, like
Yeah,
if you found
everything is.
Mhm.
Uh, it depends on the individual. There are no hard and fast rules, because we are composed entirely of it. We are energy, and when you raise the frequency of that energy, and I use that term specifically, the frequency or vibration of it, using this process, everything improves. You just have to be patient. Is all.
Have there been some problems that are considered like big problems in the mainstream, but that you realized Zpoint is much more efficient way to solve than what's like standard in the mainstream? For example, I remember you mentioned some instances where people with PTSD have resolved their problems really in a really short period of time.
Well, it does seem so, at least to me, and it worked that way in my particular circumstance. But when you take PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is essentially, I guess you could say, it's shock. It's you go through a very traumatic situation, and there's an element of shock to it, and anger or whatever. So this particular process, and there are others that work, I'm sure, equally well in their own way, but this cuts right to the center of it and releases your attachment to that shock, and things in your life start to get better. What else can I say? It works. It's effective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying there are no other, I'm not saying you have to use Zpoint. No, there are other things you can do, or a combination of Zpoint with things, and it all works, it helps. It removes that shock.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask, like, if you could point out, or if I ask you for the 5 most remarkable experiences from your clients or from the clients of your students, some
Wow,
more
good.
most interesting, what would come to your mind?
Oh, at this moment,
Like, maybe I can start with one that I remember, but maybe you remember some others. But I remember there was a woman who had poor vision, and she was doing Z-point on some topic, maybe on her eyesight even. And then she fell asleep while doing it, and she woke up and she thought, like, oh my God, I fell asleep with my contact lenses again.
I
And then she
remember
realized,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and then she realized she doesn't have contact lenses. But during her work with Zpoint, she remembered an experience when I think she was raped in her youth, and
Yes.
the police brought her to recognize who did it, and she couldn't remember. She couldn't remember how the guy looked like, and at that point, she basically convinced herself that she doesn't see well, and from that point, her eyesight deteriorated, and she basically fixed her vision with Zpoint.
I remember that. That was a number of years ago. And it, again, we cloud our experience with the emotions we have. And there was I believe there was also a reason why she didn't want to see. She didn't want to confront the whole thing again. And she was afraid of bringing back all of those feelings that she had when she was raped. Again, trauma. And when she was able to release her attachment to those feelings, it's really not a surprise that her eyesight changed, because our physical self and our emotional self, our spiritual self, are strongly connected. So when she could face those issues again, she could allow herself to see, and it affected her whole life, because from that point forward, she said, oh, I'm able to see. It was really cool. I really admired her. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I wanted to ask also, has Zpoint, I know it's spread around the world. Are there some countries where it specifically became more rooted in the society, or it also depends on the people, like if some
Yeah.
student of yours is especially gifted or especially passionate, but I'm just curious.
Well, it's used a great deal in the UK right now, and in the United States. Now, I know that I went down to Peru for a time and was teaching down there. So I don't know how far it's spread in those areas, but I do know that there are people using it as far as the tip of South America, Australia, of course the UK, the United States, Mexico, of course. I don't, and Croatia, thanks to you. I don't know. I don't know where else it's being used, but everywhere, as far as I know.
Did you envision, like, I perceive you as somebody who is not too not much of a like salesman. You're not pushy about it. You're not, even though the potential seems huge, but you have let things go their way. Let's say so. Mm, mm. Let's say if you envision Zpoint reaching into the mainstream more, that becomes like that it's not unusual to hear about it in a bus or a bus stop. What do you think, like, if that scenario would happen, what do you think it could be like? If you see a news article about it and suddenly it's like being shared in mainstream media, what do you think would be the entry point, let's say?
Well, that hasn't happened yet, but I'm thinking it probably will at some point. Now I know I'm right. I'm beginning in the beginning stages of writing another book about this, and I'm going to spend uh, more time promoting it in the sense that writing the book, and then I'll see what happens. I'm not a salesman, although I used to sell real estate and I was really good at it, but it seems like a different lifetime ago. And I don't think I'm a really terribly ambitious person at this moment in my life, but I would like to see this spread further because it's useful, it's helpful to people, and it's time. Truthfully, it's time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how often people who have real value to offer happen to be like maybe humble, maybe not ambitious, maybe simply not pushy, while other people who have lower quality products, they are often very pushy, and
it does happen that way. Yes.
Yeah, the mainstream will still.
It's a matter of timing, Ivan. When the time is right, and I trust in God, truthfully, I'm not a religious person, but I trust that when the time is right, this will take off, in a big way. So we'll see.
May I ask about in your daily life, is Zpoint like, do you use other, let's say, spiritual techniques or things like that to aid your life? Or
I meditate, and this is a very meditative process, by the way. It puts you into a meditative state. But I do meditate, and I do tapping from time to time when I believe it will help. There's absolutely nothing wrong with mixing it with other modalities. And if I feel, if I'm called upon to tap, then I tap. If I'm called upon to use TAT, Tapas acupressure technique, I'll try it, although I haven't done that for a while. But whatever tool I need at that particular time, I will use. That's like I'm a plumber, I'm cleaning out the pipes. So.
Okay, let me see what else I wanted to ask. Yeah, I noticed you changed your website name into Accepting Self. Before it was Zpoint for Peace.
Unfortunately, when I was ill, I didn't pay the bill. I wasn't paying attention to things like that, and my ownership of the name Zpoint for Peace passed, and I didn't renew the name, and I really wish I had done so because it's caused me no end of difficulty. But well, c'est la vie.
Maybe it's destiny. Maybe this will actually
be
more approachable to the mainstream.
Well, from my perspective, again, when I look at things in my life, it's really all about loving and accepting yourself. The essence of life is to be able to accept who you are. And when you can't, that's when you have difficulty. And you start blaming yourself for this, that, and the other thing. And that's exactly what Zpoint is for, is to help you get past that and love and accept yourself. And happy people love themselves, essentially. It's not, the world is not just about money, although money is important. You have to feed yourself, but it's more than just money.
I had a feeling like when you spoke about your health problems, I know from my experience also, as I became more rooted in myself, so to speak, the external problems simply don't affect you that much. You still remain calm. So my hunch is that even though you have health problems, you still remained, let's say, centered mentally. But what do you see? What do you say? Am I right or wrong?
Essentially, it has been a challenge, but it's been a challenge that's been beneficial. I wouldn't be the person I am without all the things that have happened to me as I can say for all of us. But my health problems have been centered around my heart, and my heart is centered around love. So it's being able to open myself further to love, both myself and others. So it's been a learning experience, and as things come up and I discover that I'm putting a barrier between myself and accepting myself and loving other people or whatever, I just do a little more Zpoint, and then things become clearer, and I become a happier person. So I just offer that experience to others if they are going through a health issue or whatever they happen to be going through. This helps, plain and simple. It helps.
I wonder if you maybe remembered some other success stories. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, but
I tend to be very focused in the moment. I wish you had asked me to think back or check my notes or whatever, but at this moment I can't really think of too much. Recently, I've been working with people with health issues, and for example, people with cancer. And I know that sounds strange, working with people with cancer, but quite often our health issues reflect situations or circumstances or the way we feel about ourselves. So cancer is literally, it's eating away at your body, and you could view cancer as something that's eating away at you. So all the ways that you resist looking at those feelings that are literally causing your cancer and dealing with them, releasing them, and people get better, plain and simple. They feel better anyway, definitely. Changes their lives.
Yeah, to me it doesn't sound strange, but maybe to some other people it would. Because it's I'm aware how much emotions and health are connected.
Tied in extra. I don't know. I can't remember the word. Totally tied together. How we feel and how we and the issues that plague us or kill us, quite literally. Cancer being one of them.
May I ask, like, how does your week look like these days?
I usually schedule 3 or 4 appointments during the week, and I try not to work really hard because I'm working on my book, but it's busy. Why do you ask?
Just curious, like how I don't know. I think I even want to get a more better impression of how your life looks like, because I think each technique, if somebody is an author of the technique, it's if people see that their life, not sure how to express, but maybe
I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm as busy as I want to be, and essentially as busy as I choose to be. But my focus is on being happy, enjoying my life, because I'm only here for a limited number of years, as all of us are. I know that one day I will pass over and I'll be gone. So I want to enjoy those years or that time, and things that cause me not to enjoy myself, I want to deal with them, essentially. And I don't want to walk around I'm reasonably happy. Yeah, reasonably happy. Yeah. There are things that I'm always learning, and I'm always learning new ways to deal with things. What can I say?
Yeah. Life is a journey. It's never complete.
No, and I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to be who I am rather than trying to live up to somebody's idea of who I should be. I want to enjoy myself and be myself. That's essentially it. So what you see is what you get, Ivan. Essentially, what you see is what you get.
Okay, I've gone through my questions. Maybe we can turn on the video.
Sure. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that again. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
I see you.
I see you too.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Well,
To,
would you like a complimentary Zpoint session?
yeah.
Yep. Not today, but we'll have to set up
Yeah.
a time for that.
Mhm.
I think I should go to my calendar. You have your calendar handy?
Uh, I don't have much appointments these days, so I think I can put it out of my head.
Okay.
I mean, I can do it out of my head.
Okay. So, um, hmm,
I'm busy on Friday, but
how
maybe you
about
can say when you. Mhm.
how about Thursday
Thursday
uh, around 11
sounds good.
a.m. same time,
Mhm.
my time. Thursday 11
Yeah,
a.m. Yeah. Well, let me put it in here. If
cool.
it's in my
So,
calendar, then it typically happens. So 11 a.m.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
You're in.
Thank
So
you.
what I'll do is I'll be on Skype and we won't
Mhm.
use the video because that takes up bandwidth. But
Yep.
we'll go through a session and whatever's troubling you, we'll see if we can allow you to get a different perspective on it because that's what it's about.
Mm.
Hmm?
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. If it's okay with you, I will share this video with my friends
Well,
and
absolutely.
on YouTube and so on.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Ivan. I
Thank you, Grant.
appreciate it. Okay. You have a good
Thank you.
day. Okay.
You too.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.